Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, from the rooter to the tutor, however you want to take it, welcome, welcome to another edition of the Bold Prediction Sports Media Podcast. He's Mr. KC from the 813. I'm that dude with the beard, and I'm trying to tell you, we made it past championship weekend. You know where we at now? And you know what time it is. It's time for the bowl, baby. And what we've been telling you all year, I've been hanging the banner all year. It's time to go ahead and hang another one. I, we're not a biased podcast. We're just telling the truth, and we're bold telling y'all. We've been telling you. We've been telling you. Mr. KC, how you doing, my man? What's going on?
Ooh, do the beard arm, living the dream, right? This is what we love to talk about. These correct predictions. We both obviously had picked the Chiefs going into this season, and there was really no doubt throughout. If you go back through week by week, it is what it is. It's
Never a
nice to
doubt,
be. And let's give Ray a quick shout out. Nice to see you here. Uh,
my man.
he did pretty good on his picks as well. Unfortunately for him, he had picked Cincinnati to win that game,
Whew,
and
terrible pick. I mean that was a good pick. Pretty good pick, man. Good pick.
yeah, I mean it was a tough game. What can we say? It's
Yeah,
exciting to see, right?
it is. Let's go ahead and dive on into the championship game, and then we'll move on to the NFC side. Um, really, like you said, never a doubt in my mind. I knew this was the game. Like I've always kept saying, Pat Mahomes would have to beat Joe Burrow in this game to erase all the other losses are now irrelevant. It really means nothing at this point. The only thing that they had as far as notoriety was a win streak, and now that's put to bed. And so Patrick Mahomes is moving on to his third Super Bowl in 4 years, continuing making history and showing why he's undoubtedly the best quarterback I've ever seen. I've said it and I'll keep saying it. I don't know what else he has to do to prove it after. I mean, I guess in about what 9, 10 more days he'll win another one, and then MVP, and then it is what it is. The rest is history. Wonderful season though by the Bengals. They blundered early, came back roaring, and then the Bengals bingled. Just like I always knew they would. T-shirts still coming soon on that here. Now that it holds true once again. Uh, Wonderful game though, Cincinnati. My hats off to you. Thank you for spanking Buffalo and showing the world that Josh Allen was trash, like I've been saying. Many kudos to you and y'all, but your head got too big. And when you come and holler at the king of a conference, you better come with more than just a left and a right because he's throwing a stiff left, a sharp right hook, and a couple uppercuts behind it. I hope you've seen Tyson fight. If not, you just saw how Pat Mahomes emulated him. Mr. KC, what you got to say about this game? Talk to us.
Well, we saw the game that was at the stadium formerly known as Burrowhead,
Right.
where the Cincinnati Bengals had a lot of things to say all week, including their mayor, which brought for an interesting look at the game because if you look at any of the games between the Bengals and the Chiefs, it's been a 3 point game either way on both
Hmm.
sides. So it's not like it's been a devastating win or a miraculous comeback or anything like that. So it was kind of weird to see the Bengals kind of gloat and puff their chest and talk so much, but it was very entertaining from for me at least.
Oh yeah, entertainment is the least that you can say about it. This was WWF, Stone Cold, Triple H, trash talk over the Titantron. Somebody's in the ring, somebody's backstage torching a car, or vice versa. Stone Cold in the ring catching beers, Triple H at the top of the rim, too scared to come down. And that's just how it really was this weekend. We were Stone Cold, Chris Jones down in the ring, said, "Okay, we'll see you in Burrowhead." He walked in with a leather vest and a pair of Wranglers on and some and a knee brace, and he stunned the whole offensive line and Joe Burrow so many times he could barely stand up. This was classic,
Mm.
classic Like I'm so proud of Chris Jones for what he's done, getting the playoff proverbial monkey off his back as far as the sacks go. Um, he was the dominant force that we all knew he was, that we've been saying that he was. That this is the moment that he needed, and I think this carries over. We'll get more into that soon, but hats off, like I said, to that Bengals defense here. Um, like I said, you played pretty good all season. Uh, but when you, in the words of my ancestors, when your mouth write checks that your behind can't cash, you know, it always ends up like that. You just can't do it. You can't provide the material that's gonna have Travis Kelsey's fired up, that's gonna get Mahomes fired up, that's gonna already have a fired up Chris Jones on Super Saiyan 2. And you reap what you sow. The mayor was the icing on the cake. And in the words of the Rock, and like Travis Kelsey said, that jabroni put his team and his city in a position where they couldn't come back from.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it was wild to see. I would say the only thing that we really didn't get right was that Isaiah Pacheco 100-yard plus kind of game, or really 100 plus yards out of any of the running backs.
Right. We didn't really see any rushing attack. Like I said, credit to the Cincinnati defense. They did a pretty good job of stuffing the run every time we really gave it a shot. So kudos to them in that situation. Um, but when we needed to and when we needed certain things, we had small screen games. I mean, that I guess it was almost like an accidental screen, the one he threw to Pacheco that he took up the sideline when he was getting hit. I mean, we had a couple of moments, but Pat had the best run of the game by far, the longest run and the best run, the game sealing run. The run is what they need to call it. I told you last week what they was going to call it, his flu game. Talking about that ankle, I told, and look at him all over it. I like to see it.
Yeah, and let's talk about that ending there for a second before the butt kicker field goal that was became a lot easier all of a sudden. And a lot of people were saying that you can't call that. And I thought it was ridiculous because you have to call that. Because if you don't, that's a free shot on the quarterback. Like, then who doesn't hit the quarterback when they're going out of bounds or they're out of bounds? He's 3 feet off the sideline. The play was over. It was a dumb, boneheaded play, too much adrenaline, and you got to know you can't do that to a quarterback, and you really can't do that even if it wasn't a quarterback. Anybody
Right.
that's 3 yards out,
Thank you.
if you're clearly in the white, 2 3 steps in, they're going to call that every time. The NFL
Every
doesn't
time.
allow that.
They're gonna call it even if you're 1 foot into the white, but completely facing that direction. My thing is clearly this man is giving up on the play. Like you said, dude, anything inside of that white, no matter who you are carrying the ball, you're out of bounds. And it was a boneheaded play, and I've watched the media all week talking, oh, they feel for him. He's a good kid, good kid. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, every, even my mom watches football. Even she know you ain't supposed to hit people when they out of bounds. You've been playing football your whole life, man. Come on, you've never done that. Not even in college. That wasn't even happening. So
Right.
to see it happen at the pro level and to get as much sympathy as they've been dishing out, I don't get it. Because my thing is, you're a professional at this point. This man is like you said, 2 to 3 steps outside in the chalk in the white.
Yeah,
Keep your
it's
hands off of him.
it's kind of interesting because we can actually look at a similar situation for the Chiefs in the past. We can name the villain. We all know his name, D Ford.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we? Even Frank Clark made fun of D Ford because of a silly, boneheaded, stupid play. Because
Exactly.
you paying attention to details. So
Exactly.
it was kind of interesting because in the Chiefs kingdom we booed that man out of town basically,
We did.
and for Cincinnati they welcomed him. They didn't put the blame on him, which is kind of fair. Their point is kind of fair. It's not one play. There's two interceptions you have to look at, and there's
Man.
several sacks that you have to look at that definitely changed the game. Like there's all kind of different factors where the Cincinnati Bengals could have won that game, even with that boneheaded mistake. Not to mention that Kadarius Tony catch was that was super close
Woo.
in my book. No, he's awfully close. We'll go ahead and call it an incompletion, but that's a whole touchdown off the board.
Yeah, there's a couple of things, like I said, they could call back. Um, I don't know what these folk are thinking. Like I said, I mean, football is football. Granted, at the end of the day, it can be entertainment football, however you want to look at it. But there are certain things that are just plain. I mean, certain things you can't just touch a dude when he's in the chalk. I don't get it. It's not just one play, but there are certain plays that are tide turners. And my thing is, you chose to do a boneheaded play at the most inopportune time in the game if you thought you was going to claim the victory.
Right.
So I have trouble, like I said, feeling bad for that man and comparing it to even other plays like that. I mean, those picks and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, he shouldn't have thrown them. We got to pay attention, but I give that credit to our rookie defense, who's back there, who came ready to play. First time I've ever given Brett Veach total credit, like, okay, he actually did something, and now we see the product of the people that he picked actually doing something. Because as much as
Man.
I had hoped Breland Speaks would be something for us back in the day when he picked him, for all the
Hmm.
right reasons, he was never nothing. And we're now seeing the most tried and true, I would even call them freshmen at this point, going to the Super Bowl after stellar seasons, and they're only going to get better.
Yeah, I would say that was the biggest takeaway here, because if we look at the offense on the offensive side, they lost Juju Smith, they lost Hardman. They lost
Hmm.
Tony. You were
Hmm.
down to MVS. You've got Kemp out there. You know it's
Man,
bad when Kemp's out there because he has more tackles than receptions in the NFL as
that's
a
true.
wide receiver. So that tells you everything you need. I'm a fan of him. Look, he's an underrated guy, and that's the
Yeah,
reason he made a play. But let's be honest, in the NFL, he wasn't on the Chiefs starting team. Let's put
right.
it that way. He wasn't out there catching balls all season long for a reason, and it was getting pretty thin there on the depth chart.
Oh
You,
yeah, especially because you see the heavy Sky Moore usage. Like I said, I still feel like that project should have been put to bed, but he made a play that is almost redeeming of all the blunders. But I never forget. So
yeah,
I mean, like I said, I still chalk this up. We'll see what he has next year. Maybe becoming a champion. For talking presumptively, ladies and gentlemen, maybe becoming a champion will broaden his mindset, I would say, and have him more ready for NFL action next year. At least I'm hoping so. It did it for Javarius Ward a little bit, so hopefully it do it for him.
yeah, that's a big conversation about Sky Moore. We've had a lot of hope for him, and a lot of people look at that as a redemption play. But let's be honest, if we see him doing punt returns in the Super Bowl, everyone in Chiefs Kingdom will have a riot. There will
Mhm.
be a riot if this is our guy back there doing it. So hopefully, Brett Veach or Andy Reid hears this, and please, please don't do it, because while that was impressive,
Man,
there's been a lot more times that it's been not only not impressive, but absolutely devastating to the team because he fumbled the ball. So let's hope that we don't see Sky Moore in that position, and we just see him kind of ball out at that wide receiver position, maybe.
as long as he hold on to the ball, he can go ahead and get in that slot. That's all I've ever worried about every time he touches the ball. I never felt this bad since we had Sammy Parker. Like just hold on to the
Yeah,
ball. Just hold on to it. Just wrap it up. Fall
just
down. Do whatever you gotta do. Just hold on to the rock, please.
good
Too much.
lord.
Like I said, I've seen too many examples. So, and like I said, I mean, I'm not a little receiver guy. I don't know what's Brett Veach's infatuation with getting these little big hand receivers, but next year, hopefully, he goes and gets us the Christian Watson I was looking for, or the Metcalf, or the just a somebody. Find Calvin Jr. Where's Megatron the third? We need something coming down the line. Jeez.
Yeah, it's like they refuse to find some 6'4" guy, and it's wild because if you look at the build of Mahomes' biggest target, some big dude that can jump and high point and with good hands and can move a little bit. Travis Kelsey's not burning nobody on the field. Who's
Man,
who's Travis Kelsey out running? You know what I mean? He's running better routes. That's what he's
Right,
doing. He's got good hands and he's trusty. You know, if you
right,
throw him the ball and it's in where it's supposed to be, he's taking it. Look, we
right.
have an accurate quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. Give him a big man, please. Let's get
Please,
some 6'3". You know, I'll settle with you. I'll
man.
give you an inch or two. But it can't be. We got to stop going for these sub 6 foot wide receivers for sure.
Yeah, like I said, I don't understand the infatuation because if you look at most of the good receivers, or even if you want to call them great receivers in the league, they're at least 6 foot, at least minimum. We're getting these 5'8", 5'9" guys, 5'10" guys. I'm like, goodness gracious! Like you don't want nobody who can high point a ball, nobody
Who's
who can win a one-on-one jumping match.
big enough to actually play in the NFL? Like, what about
Man,
that? Like,
you
you got to
know,
remember, some of these linebackers are 250, 260 pounds,
man,
and every bit of a monster. They're running, a step is maybe a step slower. You know, come on.
right.
They're destroying these little dudes, and it makes you kind of nervous going into the game, into the Super Bowl a little bit. But it is what it is, right?
Yeah, we'll see what's going into Super Bowl though. I've always going to trust in an Andy Reid plan, and for him to have the team prepared. And now we're heading back to a Super Bowl with a healthy offensive line. We're not absolutely decimated at the most important, second most important station in football, I would say. And I think this Super Bowl is going to be a splendid, splendid affair. And before we touch on that, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this NFC Championship game
Yeah.
where it was an absolute slobber knocker. It
Mm.
was everything that I pretty much knew it was gonna be. Like I said, I was not a Brock Purdy believer. Like I said, I mean, no disrespect to the 49ers. I've often said they was the Chiefs of the West, but like I said, that's just because of how talented they was. But I said everywhere except for quarterback. I've
Right.
always said it. And Brock Purdy, good season, good rest of the season for you, all that jazz. Hats off to you. Good luck with the injury. But at the end of the day, you went down in the biggest moment. And for a while, it looked like the little Josh Johnson guy was going to lead you down for a few drives. He got you some points real quick, but then, Philadelphia stepped on their neck and that was it. So, I mean, it just goes to show you that, the hype train only takes you so far you know. And when you really don't play nobody, like I said, we can keep talking about their schedule, like you saying, when you really don't play any good competition down the stretch, yeah, you could put almost any, like I said, Frank told us, he said, you can put me back there. I can hit a couple of these 20-yard passes and get some dubs. I'm like, dude, you're playing JV ball at this point. So I'm not surprised that it was an absolute slobber knocker. I'm not surprised that San Fran is at home. Granted, they're so talented across the board, but Philadelphia is clearly the better team, even though they ain't played too much competition either. But at least they played more than what San Fran did. I'll say that.
Well, let's take a quick step back from that moment because I believe the 49ers, it was going to be a rough game all day, but losing Brock Purdy made it an unfair match. I mean, at this point, he's your third string quarterback. So you've gone from the guy you really wanted, you spent all that draft capital on. Number one's gone. Your number two guy, all right, we got a veteran backup, strong guy playing good. He's gone too. Now you're on to your third draft pick that you picked in the seventh round, not just the seventh round, but the absolute last pick of the draft. And he balls out. He's still balling. He's still having a great season. And you lose that guy too. And you're stuck with Jimmy Johnson, who was a Canadian football leaguer or something. I don't even remember where they said they got the kid from. He's been in the league actually for I think like 12 years, and I've never heard of the guy. So
Oh
it
yeah,
just
he's a
tells you,
journeyman.
yeah, as journey as you can get. Because I couldn't tell you a single playoff game or where you should. I was blown away. I didn't know you could be in the NFL for that long and just not even be known. Like it was unbelievable to me that that's the point that they were at. I'm surprised they didn't prepare a better backup than him for the game. To be honest with
Well, there's not really a better backup on tap for them. I mean, who else is available? Who else are you going to go to get at this point? I mean,
Well, the Chiefs found Matt Moore when Henney went down. You know, there you gotta find somebody
Okay,
with some
well, I mean,
more solid experience than 15-year journeyman that no one's ever heard of. You know.
when you're right on that end. But my only thing is, I think they was doomed since Trey Lance went down. Like I said, I just think the run lasted longer than it really should have. But like I said, kudos to them, and I don't think Brock Purdy was going to be a difference maker either way. Like
Mm,
I just, and like I said, I'm not trying to be a hater. When I look at him, I look at his stats in every game he played. He has backup stats. He threw for 300 yards one time, and that was against a terrible Seattle team. And so, I
right.
mean, it's not like he came in and he just absolutely trashed anybody, because he didn't. It was everything around him flowing through it. I'm like I said, 200. I ain't gonna scoff. 200 yards a game is pretty backup esque. I mean,
Oh
like
yeah, for sure.
I don't know. Like I said, how you praise that too much. And so I just think the 49ers was too caught up in their own hype, caught up on this Purdy train, and like I said, it came to a screeching halt when he got his first taste of real NFL defense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it was tough to watch. You know, I wanted to at least see a closer matchup because I mean, let's be honest. For the Eagles all season, the story's been, well, you got a cupcake schedule. You
Mm-hmm.
have a cupcake schedule, and then you
Mm-hmm.
look at them in the finals, and it's like, what are we even really looking at here? You know, who did you play? What you played
Nobody.
the 49ers with no quarterback. You played the Giants
Mm-hmm.
with
Vanilla Vic.
whatever, however the Giants made it to that point of the playoffs.
Say
Yeah,
his name, Vanilla Vic.
uh,
You know who he
Vanilla Vic.
is.
Yeah, I got to put
You
some
know.
respect on his name. Look, he made it to the playoffs. Let's. I should take that
And
back.
took out the King of the North.
Yeah, took out the King of the North, but that's also Kirk Cousin in the playoffs. So it should have been a pretty obvious from the get go. But there was no real. Let's be honest. Nobody knew the Giants were going to make the playoffs. So even though they did make the
Oh
playoff,
no, I
well,
think there was
let's take it back.
somebody.
Let's
Somebody.
take it back. The the story going into the season for mainstream media, not named dude with a beard. Okay,
Okay.
because even me and myself, I can't take that claim. Okay, I understand that you can hold up your little
Oh,
Giants and football is better in New York with
football's better
Giants or
when New
whatever
York
the
is
week
back.
one.
Yeah.
You guys can go back and look. Look, this is not new. It's not new news. Shout out to New Heights, new news.
Right.
Uh,
New news.
Dude with a
Right.
beard seen that one coming. So is but you got to admit that even though you've seen it, like that was a bold. There's a reason that was a bold prediction.
Oh man, I just said, man, those Giants. Like I said, we'll see next year. They're kind of built to win the division, man. It just, like I said, that thing can shake out either way. Just whoever has the hottest hand at the time and the easiest schedule, apparently.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you gotta. It's the coaching staff to me. If you look at the
Hmm.
Giants, they've gotten it well put together. And same with the Eagles. Let's get back on these Eagles a little bit. You know,
Yeah,
they
they
are
are
the Super
coached
Bowl
well.
champions, or not the Super Bowl champions. Let me take that back. That was
Former
bad.
Super Bowl champions, you can give
Yeah,
them that.
former. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
There's guys on the team with rings just like ours.
yeah, they're
You
recent.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah, Kelsey's been there. Both
right.
the Kelseys. They people know in that building what a Super Bowl is. So they're a contender, you know, and they've had the reason it was cupcake is because it's a well put together team. Look at that defensive line. There's a reason they hurt Purdy early. Like that was
Hmm.
a monstrous. They got Sue on that bad boy,
I
and
know it,
both of us wanted that dude. That was the guy we wanted for this game for this reason.
man.
But I tell you what, they got Sue. But we got Chris Jones,
Right,
the Stone Cold Jones.
right.
And Sue in his prime was a monster, but we're past prime
Hmm.
for him. But
Right.
we're looking at Jones, ain't it? So it's going to be a tough night for them Eagles, I believe. But
Oh yeah.
they got a well put together run team. You can
My
run the
thing
ball.
is, I don't think they can run their way to a Super Bowl. You're not going to beat Kansas City unless you're putting the ball in the air. We've shown that we
Yeah,
can stop the run on several different occasions. Hell, I mean, we showed it last week. They wasn't getting off on the run on us. Like, you know what I'm saying? After they was destroying Buffalo with the run game. So I mean, I'm not worried about that. We're not the Giants, and we're not
right.
the the Niners. Like you said, that fake number one defense. I kept telling folks, I'm like, yeah, they're number one, and when you don't play nobody else for the rest of the season, how could you not be? You're not stopping nobody but bums. Like,
Yeah,
stop playing.
and I thought it
Last,
was really my favorite part was after that. What I kept hearing is the Eagles now have the number one defense, and it's like, wait a minute. You know what? Let's go with it. I love
okay,
that storyline. Let's
because
call them the number
this is
one
what we do.
defense.
We're the
This
number
is what
one
we do.
slayer.
Yeah, I want to correct you, but you know what? That's what we need. That is
Yeah,
what the Chiefs look for. Go ahead, say
yeah.
you got that number one
To me,
defense.
that's
Tell
what
me.
Pat walks up to the counter. He said, "Where's your best defense?" That's it there. Tell it to come outside. It's high noon. Tell it to come outside. We're gonna
We're gonna
find
need
out. Right.
a little dual action
I'm
going on
trying to
here,
tell you.
buddy.
I'm trying to tell you. Or it
Woo.
reminds me of shout out to Gerard Butler, that 300 movie when they went and fought them dudes in the mask. I think they called them immortal. He said immortals. So we'll put their name to the test. Number one, please tell them to come outside. I got my boys right here. Let's get this quick 5 on 5. Like what?
Mm.
Is there
What's
no one
really
else?
what's
Patrick
really
Mahomes,
good.
I'm trying to tell you, these boys, he's Achilles, he's all the Greek, whatever superhero you want to call him, all rolled into one bad mamma jamma with a cannon. And I
Yeah, and
can't wait to see it.
the Eagles do have a couple good wide receivers. You know, AJ Brown's no joke.
Oh,
That's a
yeah.
serious man. There's a reason they traded number one pick for him.
Oh,
So
yeah. My only thing is, we have to see how healthy Jalen is because AJ Brown wasn't getting no love, no tosses, no none of that. And
mm,
I'm not gonna say it was the defense. I'm pretty sure it was the Jalen shoulder situation. That's why they did all their damage on the ground on those boys.
Jalen has said it's not 100%. So we're really kind of, I know there's going to be a lot of focus on Mahomes' ankle, but that is
Right.
definitely something that we need to kind of look at.
Because
And
that
to be
shoulder
honest with
lingers.
you,
I don't care who
yeah.
you are. Huh.
And I seen Mahomes after 1 week on that ankle, so good knows what it looks like after two more.
Hmm.
You might be
So
able to run around a little bit this
I'm
time.
trying to tell you, he's probably going to be doing everything they're expecting Jalen to do in the Super Bowl, running, getting yards, getting first downs. Like we're going to see. Clearly confident in the Kansas City Chiefs going forward, especially in the Super Bowl. Let's just go ahead and talk about this thing, man. Let's talk about the Super Bowl.
Ooh, let's get into it a little bit, just a little bit. We guys got to give you a teaser because we still got a whole week to think about
This
it and dwell and find out because there's still a lot of questions out there.
There is, and there's a lot of time between now and then, like you were just talking about. I'm just the matchup. I just think that we match up really good against these Eagles. There's
Mm,
never been a time, no matter how talented the Eagles been since we've played them with that reason where I'd be like, I think we're gonna lose to the guy. Like I just don't. I think this game, granted, everybody's health would be, like I said, the absolute statement game that put Chiefs well within the right realm of dynasty talk. It'd be undeniable at that point to go ahead and not anoint us as the greatest, well, not the greatest, but one of the dynastic teams in NFL history, especially within the last 20 years.
right.
Uh, I just think moving forward, even does good for the Eagles, do too. I mean, it's bode well for them. This should put them right into the category of where we were. A team that's not a contender, but not as consistent as we are. Because I mean, obviously, we have 5 straight seasons of solid production getting to the championship game. But like I said, they've been to Super Bowl within the last 5, 6 years. No, it's been 5 years now. When was that? In 18, I think they won it.
Ooh,
something
Oh
around
God,
there.
it's been about 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So, this kind of put them in, the conversation of really being an NFC team that could always make it to the Super Bowl. They should be in the conversation every year, like how they try to anoint Buffalo. I think this gives Philadelphia good light, especially heading into the future with Jalen showing that he can conquer the NFC no matter who's out there, old guys or no. So I just think so far, like I said, without talking too much about it, I like the matchup. I like it on both sides here. I think both teams have things that they do better than the other teams, but I think both teams has an X factor that could win them the game. But
Oh yeah.
we'll see going forward, and we'll dive more into we'll stew on it. What you got for us? Just a little bit on it.
Well, I think it's going to be an interesting game, and I think there's more what ifs on the Chiefs side than the Eagles side. We have to look at Snead if he's coming back out of concussion protocol. But with 2 weeks, I think he'll be good. And then we have a couple of big questions at wide receiver. Obviously,
Hmm.
Hardman and Tony are big guys, and Juju. Like, are we going to see? Are we going in with MVS as the number one guy? I mean, he showed he could play,
Right.
but it is not really the ideal situation.
Right. No, we definitely have. Definitely want to be more loaded with weapons than not heading into that kind of game for sure.
Yeah,
No, I
right.
mean, because if that's the point, if we got to that point, we need to start putting Jarek McKinnon in the slot and getting him worked in. If it's getting that bad, because we're gonna need something else that can raise the second level of that defense. Um, yeah, without diving too much into it, we might want to move on because it's making me want to keep diving on there. Makes me want
Right,
to dig a
right.
little
I got a
deeper.
question for you. Does
Hmm.
CEH get a touch in the Super Bowl?
Who is
I
that?
did see. I
Who
think
is that?
there's some initials. It's some. I didn't.
CH.
I was looking for him all game
CH.
last week, but
CH.
I didn't see.
Doesn't he play for 49ers? You talking about McCaffrey?
No, 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 not McCaffrey. Not
Oh,
uh,
what's his name? CM12? There's so many acronyms out
CM12.
there.
Yeah, there's so many acronyms.
Uh,
And you having trouble remembering his name is because you haven't seen the guy in
Goodness gracious.
several weeks, it seems.
Hold
So
on. Is he that one guy who lost his job to a grown man who said that he
yeah,
was
but
there
a
to
grown
take
man.
a grown man's job?
See, he was hired for a team for a position, and then
Then he found somebody more qualified, I think. And then,
yeah, the
yeah,
dude like he said I could do this. So they said no problem. We'll get a guy to handle this one little portion. We'll
right.
handle this one little thing. Don't worry about it. It's not a you're our guy. And
Mm,
next thing
goodness
you know,
gracious.
you let someone else cover your shift one time, and
Goodness gracious.
next thing you know, your manager realizes that not everybody takes a 20-minute break and whatnot. Every 5 minutes.
Ooh, man. Oh man.
Uh, I
So
don't think we'll
yeah,
see him either.
yeah. So I yeah. Without knowing who that is, I'm gonna have to say no. I don't know who that guy is, and
Oof,
hopefully
that
we
bad.
won't
I
see
don't
him.
even know who he is. Dear Lord.
No idea.
Mm.
Maybe hopefully the practice squad guy.
I feel bad for his mom right now. Like,
Oh
yeah,
man. Well, shoot, man. I don't feel too bad for her. She's got to have at least a little bread if the guy's been in the league. So it's all
true.
right. They'll be
Big
okay.
facts.
And maybe whoever this nameless character is get traded somewhere and becomes the man. Who knows? Hey,
Right. Because you're right there. Because even if you don't make it, you still made it. So,
man, I'm sure Detroit could use a running back. So
mm, no, they got running
there's
backs.
options.
They got a running back.
Oh no, not even
That's a
Detroit.
terrible. No,
Ooh.
Detroit's got
Oh, you know what?
a
Tampa. Tampa could use a running
the
back
Tampa maybe. Yeah,
and a quarterback. Oh
I mean,
man,
if he
Tom.
comes down here, I might. Uh, I don't know. I don't even know what I'd do. I don't know.
Oh,
Brian
Hope
Pringle
Leonard
does
Fournette.
hang out down here though. Down here though.
Oh, I'm sure he does. He probably had no Tyreek's house.
Mm.
This was get
No,
paid.
Tyreek's on the good side of Florida. He's in Miami.
Oh yeah, that's right. Watching the Super Bowl because he rather not played in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean the Super Bowl in I would also like to watch it in Cancun. So I can't make fun of him, right? Like if I could go to Cancun, like if I had the money to go to the Super Bowl, I'd probably still rather go to Cancun and watch it than than actually go to the game. Probably,
Right,
because that's 5 grand on one, or probably 10 grand on the whole vacation. 10 grand, I have a real nice week in Cancun. I promise
oh
you.
yeah.
I promise you, it might be just better. So as a fan, I guess I can see it. I'd hate to be them and missing it though.
Mm-mm. Hey man, well, like you said, at least he's sitting nice, sitting comfortable. Got a couple of mai tais. He'll be all right.
Hmm. Little
But
sex on the
yeah,
beach.
oh yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about my boy TB12, man, Tom Brady,
Mm,
the
mm,
goat. Issued an emotional video this morning. I happened to catch her right out of the slumber, waking up this morning, and I could tell by the crackle in the voice, and you could almost see him kind of eyes welling up, that he's really done. I think it's done for TB12, and taking my hat off to him. Not a fan, never really been a fan, but I respect anybody who's a champion, and especially one 7 times over, who's proved time and time again that yeah, you thought that I wasn't the best, but let me go ahead and show you and get another ring. Oh, you forgot about me again? Well, I guess here I gotta come and get another one. Oh, you said the coach was the reason why I won all those chips, huh? I guess I gotta go to a whole new city who hasn't won a Super Bowl in 20 years and get them
mm,
one real quick on
mm,
my way out the door.
mm,
So
mm, mm.
much respect to Tom Brady, TB12. He's definitely by far the greatest quarterback that we've ever seen, probably the greatest that we'll ever see until Patrick Mahomes get into about year 9. But no disrespect to TB12. We'll never see another 7-time champion, at least not in this lifetime. My hats off to him. Got to put him in the conversation at this point for one of the greatest athletes ever, as far as being the greatest of your sport and maintaining a level of excellence until you just couldn't no more. And it's not like he's had a steady decline or anything in his play. He just had this season was probably just his one bad season, and he hung it up. He recognized it was time. So shout out to you, Tom. Enjoy that 600,000 million bazillion that CBS is about to shower you with. You and Gronkowski's probably about to become the greatest tandem commentary duo in NFL history. On the more accomplishments for you, Mr. KC. How you feel about TB12 since you in the Tampa area? What's the energy like in the city?
Well, my neighbor's actually a Chiefs fan also, so we also just keep it all chiefed up over here. So I don't really know the pulse of the city. Uh, my what I would say though is the similarity to Jordan and Brady is I didn't like either one of them. When
Right,
Jordan was in his prime, I hated Jordan. He
right.
was I hated him. I actually probably hated Jordan more than I hated Tom Brady at the time.
Oh, I'm with you on that.
But you
I'm
have
with
to
you on that.
respect it. You gotta call a spade, and it is what it is. Look, Tom Brady's accomplishments alone lets you know that it's a tall tree to climb. Look, Mahomes is a dynamite player. And we actually have a guy that watches called Teacher Talking Sports, and he has a great YouTube channel. And
Oh
he had
yeah.
a video out on it today, talking about how long would it take Mahomes to pass Tom Brady's all-time yardage and touchdowns.
Hmm.
Surprisingly, it's right there at that 40 years, 41-year mark, which is a lot younger than Brady is now, but that's a long
Quite a
time of
ways
maintain.
away.
It's a ways away, and he's got to maintain this pace the whole time to get there.
Right.
So and while and there's also a question if you know, does Mahomes actually get to past 7? That's a that's a big number of rings that we've
Tall
never even
task.
heard of. It wasn't even feasible before Tom Brady.
Right. No, we used to think the Mecca was getting 3 or 4. Like that was just it. Like, yeah, that puts you in the you might be the greatest ever. But then the man went and got the fifth one. It's like, okay, we're talking about a new stratosphere of quarterbacking now. And then he went and got a sixth one. We're like, okay, well, this is just getting unfair. And then he just ices it off with the seventh one. And it's like, okay, this is the echelon. It almost makes you feel like if other quarterbacks don't even accomplish a quarter of that, it's not even worth mentioning. But this is just to go to show that I guess you could just there's no bar that we can put Brady on. It's just when we talk about greatest quarterback, we can't even include him because he's beyond the stratosphere at this point.
Yeah, it's a remarkable career, and hats off to him, man. I'm glad you're done. You know, it's
Yeah,
good for you, and probably good for your long term health at this point, man. Like, I'm starting to get a little older myself. I'm 10 years younger than Tom Brady, and I
right.
do not want to get hit by no 300-pound lineman. I don't want to get hit by a 300-pound dude that runs a 4.6. Like it just
Man,
doesn't. It doesn't sound like a fun time.
no.
It's not how I spend my Sundays.
No, without a shadow of a doubt. Like I said, yeah, great career that he's had. We've got to see it start to finish pretty much because I mean, shoot, this his era of football is just pretty much almost our lifespan of football. As far as watching, dude, I mean, like he's been the man since I was a dang kid. Like I said, it's like for me, it's like watching Kobe Bryant play basketball all over again from start to finish. And you're like, goodness gracious, will I ever see somebody that's gonna be as good as who I just saw?
Oh
So I
yeah,
mean, goodness gracious, and most thankfully we have Patrick Mahomes, who's the rock of all of football, the most electrifying man in all of the NFL. Like yeah, he makes it easy to sleep at night as far as if you had quarterback woes because he gives you none.
yeah, and that's what the fun part of it is about Mahomes is his story hasn't been written yet, so we don't know if he gets past Tom Brady, but man, it looks like he will. You know, it
That's
looks like it, but it's a long road before you get there. We'll have to wait a decade. That's what's crazy to think about.
yeah, before we even can make a determination or even get it close. We'll see though. Future roads to the Super Bowl, and Lord forbid any injuries. He's really got a good shot. I mean, an incredible chance to do something historic. Well, even more historic. He's already, like we've said it 2 years ago. I mean, just personal conversations. Me and you, he's already a first ballot Hall of Famer. He can stop playing football today, and we've
Mm,
always said that we've said it so many different times, and for him to just come out here and perform how we've been so bold enough to predict because we don't know what's going to happen, but it's almost like we know what's going to happen. We can see it almost, and that's the scariest part of how good this dude is.
yeah, yeah, it is just a blessing. It's good to be a Chiefs fan these days. I'll put it
Oh
to you
yeah,
that way.
it's wonderful.
It gives
These
you a
are the
leg up.
days.
It's a quarterback driven league, you know, so you have a good quarterback, game over.
Game over or good night. uh Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get ready to move into a new thing that we're going to start doing here, a little versus battle. We got two quarterbacks here who we've decided to put head to head somewhat. And I think we're going to call this the Slobber Knocker Jamboree, or we're going to call this the super spinoff Spinaroonie Toonie Dooney because both these guys got the wheels. So many names that I could come up with, but at the end of the day, there can only be one. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and let Mr. Casey announce to you the matchup and who's in what corner because we got a red and blue. And we're going to go ahead and put my guy in the blue since his guy actually wore a little bit of red in the outfit. We'll be respectful. Mr. Casey, who we got on the slate here?
Well, crowd fighting in the red corner is the Michael Vick facing tonight's opponent. In the blue corner, weighing 30 pounds less, the Lamar Jackson. In
Big
tonight's
trust.
versus match, we are finding out who is the better quarterback between Michael Vick and the Lamar Jackson.
And really, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. KC, there's nothing to even really discuss or talk about, but this is a versus, so I'll regale the folks. It's Lamar Jackson. Lamar Big Trust Jackson is by far the better quarterback than Michael Vick. And anybody who says different really doesn't watch football. There's nothing that Michael Vick has done that Lamar Jackson didn't do or do better.
Oh, there's definitely things he's done.
Just
Lamar
don't think
Jackson
so.
didn't get suspended. Vic did. Look, look, my dude can miss games. Look, there's a reason he missed games too, because he lived a little harder of a life. Okay, my dude Michael Vick was out here living lives that people don't understand. And let's start by saying he's owned up for his mistakes and has done more for dogs and PETA and these dog organizations than I have in a life will ever do in a lifetime. More than anybody that hates that man for what he did, he's done more to repay his debt than you'll ever do in a lifetime for an animal. So let's get that out of the way first. He's apologized, but if we're going to talk about what he can't do, is remind me again who is the all-time rushing leader as a quarterback? Who is who is
Big
this?
trust.
Who is the goat?
Oh, you said all time. You mean
All
cumulative. You
time.
mean you okay? Well,
Yeah,
as of
cumulative.
right now,
Who's got
as
the most yardage?
in one season or in just in
And,
general. I'm
and,
sorry.
and just in general, just in life,
Oh, okay.
who's holding records? I'm
Yards.
just
I'm
curious
gonna
who.
say it's if we just talking about yards total right now, I don't think is it Michael Vick? I don't even think it's
It
Michael Vick,
is.
is it?
It is.
Is it?
It is Michael Vick. It is
You
Michael
sure?
Vick.
You
I'm
sure?
pretty sure.
Because
Pretty sure.
I know the most I know my boy Big Trust got the single season rushing yards for a quarterback with 1,200, and I know that he's got the most 1,000 yard seasons by a quarterback in general. So I mean, it might be Michael Vick, but Big Trust is doing it on a bigger level.
Uh, and where did he learn that level at? Who is the
Louisville on his way to being a
no? Well,
Heisman,
yeah,
something that
and you
Michael
know
Vick
where he
never
learned that?
done. Michael
He
Vick was
was
a Heisman. Michael Vick a
he
Heisman winner.
no he
Oh,
Heisman. The
Big
most we talk
Trust,
about an
Big
overrated
Trust,
college football stat
Big
or
Trust
award.
from
Look, ain't
Louisville.
no one
Big
learning.
Trust
And you know where he got that? You know what he was doing? Why he won that Heisman?
running
He was
through the
playing
competition.
Madden. And you know what he was doing on that Madden? You know who he was picking? Michael Vick. And you know what he said? He said, one day I want to be just like that guy. And you know
Mm.
what? He never got the arm that Michael Vick's got.
Right,
Michael
because
Vick's
Lamar Jackson was blessed with a cannon.
Michael Vick could throw the ball 100 yards. This man
Unaccurate.
he
So
throw it
could
over a
Jamar
mountain.
Russell. So
Listen,
could Jamarcus Russell. And they
yeah,
was both
but
wildly inaccurate.
Jamarcus Russell couldn't
Wildly
run like Michael
inaccurate.
Vick though. Well, the
Right, but he
difference
could throw
is
an inaccurate pass just like Mike Vick.
Well, the difference is Mike Vick taught coaches how to write a playbook for a quarterback with such talents. Before Michael Vick, there was no wildcat type offenses. There was no you weren't running with a quarterback like that. That wasn't
Yeah,
how
he
you
was
ran the
Frank
ball.
Tarkenton.
No, and you could tell it wasn't because if you watch Michael Vick on his runs, he was just extending the play, looking for the pass, just like Mahomes does. He's looking for every pass option. He's Mahomes with a slightly less arm, but a
No,
better run ability. Is what
no,
Michael Vick's
that's
was.
way too much praise. Michael
He,
Vick's not even a quarter of the quarterback that Patrick Mahomes is, and that's not even up for discussion. He's not even better than Lamar
he was
Jackson. Like, what are we
he
talking
was
about?
electric. Lamar
Dude,
Jackson wasn't electric.
Lamar Jackson is electric. What are you talking about?
He
Anytime
is
he's on the
electric.
field,
Okay,
he's a
okay,
game
he is.
changer.
He
He's a
is.
game changer,
He
and
is.
especially
Remind
at
me.
quarterback.
Do,
Like
do
I
do you
said,
remember? Do you
remember
remember
he
when
led the
Michael?
league in passing touchdowns in 2019. I don't never remember Michael Vick doing nothing like that. I remember Big Trust doing it.
Well, it was a different era of football. Like he didn't
He
have.
can't throw the ball, Mr. Casey.
He
That's
can
why
throw
the
the ball.
difference. No, he
I
couldn't.
know Lamar Jackson can't throw the
Yeah, he
ball. It's
can.
been the
You got to
complaint
be able to do it if you lead the league in touchdown passes. Michael Vick couldn't throw the ball, and we all know it. It's common
because
knowledge. Common
every
knowledge.
team was just playing the run. They didn't think you could pass. They didn't believe it.
They didn't need to play the pass because all he could do was run. Him and
Oh, that's
Warren
what I meant.
Dunn.
My bad. My bad. They
Yeah,
just
I
played the
know.
run. Yeah, they just played the run
Right.
because there was no
And then
pass
he
threat.
couldn't
They were
even.
like, "What do you mean he's throwing the ball?"
Right. He couldn't
Everyone
even take
fell over.
advantage of that. That's what I'm saying. He couldn't even take advantage of that.
The running back threw the ball. The running back threw the
Hey
ball.
man, we ain't
Can't
worried about
believe it.
Warren Dunn. I'm just
Mm,
saying. Like I said,
mm.
so he's got the most games with 100 plus rushing yards by a quarterback, more than
Yeah,
Michael
now
Vick. So I mean,
now that Vic's paved the way
he's
for him,
already shown that he's a better runner. His season in
he
2019
is a better
proved
runner.
he's the better
He's a running back.
passer.
He's not a better
He's a
passer.
quarterback. He is a better passer.
He is not a better
What
passer.
Michael Vick's number that better passing numbers he got than Lamar Jackson?
Well, Lamar Jackson, what's
Substantial.
Lamar Jackson's best passing yard season anyway? Let me see this here real quick. Let me let me
Because I
pull up
believe he's
all
already over 12,000 career. Ain't that almost matching Michael Vick's, bum?
passing yards. He's never thrown for three. He threw for 3,119
Uh
with
huh.
36 touchdowns.
36
31.
touchdowns.
Yeah, he threw for 3,000 yards one time.
Okay, what about your boy Michael Vick?
Let's pull up Vic right here.
Tell me
Let
about
me
him.
pull out my little
Tell me about him.
Tim's yards. I mean, I got 3,300, so he's got more in a single season, and he's had 3,000 more than more. He's done it twice with another season that was 2,900. I mean, he's out before he threw for more yards, and that was back then when they weren't even. You know, if you threw for 3,000 yards in a season, you were balling. Big numbers were
No.
four. Yeah, you used 3,000 used to be the benchmark for a
You
good
that
quarterback.
right.
Yeah, and now they've raised it up to 4,000. That's the if you ain't throwing 4,000 yards, you're not a legitimate just pocket quarterback, passing quarterback. Lamar Jackson throwing, he having trouble hitting 4,000 in 2 seasons.
Oh, is that
That's what
right?
the numbers say. It's not me joking.
Did
This
Michael
ain't
Vick
no.
do it?
No, I'm not clowning for no reason.
Michael Vick do it?
Yeah, all the time. He got
No,
multiple.
what?
Uh,
He has two, right?
two
And
basically a third.
that's his whole career. No, it's
Basically
not.
a
There's
third.
no basically. So he has two.
Basically
So he has one
two.
more than Lamar
One
Jackson,
more. You
and
think
Lamar
I don't see
Jackson is
Lamar
still
getting no
playing football. So this is Michael Vick's career versus a guy
true.
who's coming off his rookie deal. You have got to be kidding me. But
True.
how many
True.
has Michael Vick ever thrown 36
But
touchdowns in a
but
season?
in the same instance, actually, hold on a second.
Has Michael
If
Vick
I
ever
could,
thrown 36 touchdowns in a season?
he's a few short of
Yeah.
36. 36 is a large number.
He's a few
Like that
short of
is
20, probably. He's yeah. Oh no, no, no. You gotta let me know. You gotta tell me.
yeah, it's a few short of I
It's
don't see any
terrible.
I don't see
I'm
it's not
sure.
terrible. Look,
What
we
is it?
gotta
Then tell me.
we hit above 20 a couple times.
Mm,
You know, a little
mm,
21.
A little
Little two,
21.
yeah,
Yeah.
blackjack. Look, you hear 21 blackjack, that sound good, right?
So,
Like that's not a bad
yeah.
number, right?
Okay.
Like, and
Well, we know.
that's just passing touchdowns too.
Right.
Like
So we already
you gotta
know.
remember all time yardage, right? Like Michael Vick's still winning that. He still
That's just
has that.
all time yardage. That's
Yeah, but
probably just
yardage
it.
ain't guaranteed.
But
You ain't got
okay,
all
but
time yardage.
what's
You
his
ain't got the
all
record
time?
till you got the
What's Michael
record.
Vick's all time rushing yards? Where does he sit on the list? What's his number?
Uh, let me uh, let me do a
Because
little
Big Trust
scrolling down.
already got more
Uh,
touchdowns than Michael Vick will ever have. So
I mean, Michael Vick's out the game. He's not allowed to throw
right,
no
because
mo.
he couldn't. I mean, even when he was in the game, he couldn't take advantage of them not even playing pass defense because they knew he couldn't throw it.
Did Lamar Jackson break Madden? Did that happen?
Huh?
Did Lamar Jackson break Madden?
Michael Vick didn't either.
He did too.
No,
Don't
he
you say
didn't.
he
He didn't
did too.
either. He didn't
He
either.
broke Madden.
No,
When
he
Madden
didn't.
came out, Michael Vick's on the cover.
No,
Teams
no.
were
Devin
devastated.
Hester broke
Everybody picked
Madden.
Michael Vick.
Devin Hester broke Madden.
You
99
know
speed.
who they
First
picked
100 speed off.
when Lamar Jackson was on the cover. You know who people picked?
Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
No, they picked Pat Mahomes
Well,
because he
that
should have
too,
got it
most of the time.
because he should have been on the cover twice. That's what it was. But they had to change it up.
Look,
Michael Vick broke Madden, bro. Like
he
it was.
didn't. And he didn't. And what's his all time rushing yards? Like you still ain't told
Oh,
me yet.
sorry. I
He
think it
didn't
was.
he didn't break Madden. He broke
Where
himself
was it at? Where
by
was
going
this
to
at?
jail for some stuff that he should have shut down. Now so we already got Big Trust, the more responsible person. Big Trust, the better quarterback, throwing more touchdowns. And he's already, like I said, he's already done rushing things as a quarterback that Michael Vick could never do.
Yeah, I
So
think
let's see
we
his all
sitting here
time.
at like 6,200. I think it was 60. Where do we pull up Jackson's here before I talk too much?
He's at 4,437. I can tell you exactly
Oh
how
yeah, a
many he
couple
got.
thousand. We talking at least 2 more seasons,
Right, and we're talking about a Lamar Jackson who
at
got hurt
least.
this season and the season before, or no, the his second season. So we're talking about a guy who's about to blow that out the water probably next year.
Not guaranteed. Nah,
No,
nah, not next year. He's
nothing's
still two
guaranteed.
more years, at least 2 more years.
He's getting
And the way he
6.9 a
runs the
carry,
ball,
man.
he don't throw the ball. They do design runs with Lamar Jackson. They
You
don't
want to know
just
why?
focus
Because he's
run.
better and more effective. And they all trust me. He got 113 passer rating. I'm sure his passer rating career is way better than Michael Vick's ever will be. So he's a passer. Let's not do that. He's thrown the
Mm.
ball plenty of times.
I mean, I've seen him throw the ball, so I can't deny that.
Right.
I mean, he's obviously a quarterback, so he's going to throw the
Mhm.
ball. But I'm just saying the style of play was slightly different between the two. Michael Vick wasn't a run-oriented quarterback.
Yeah, he
Lamar
was.
Jackson is. So
No,
eventually,
Michael Vick was a
Lamar's
I gotta survive kind of quarterback because I'm
yeah,
so terrible because I can't throw it. I'm a running back who's playing quarterback to try to catch teams off guard.
because he
Lamar
didn't have
Jackson
no.
gets design runs because he's so elite at running. He's the best running quarterback we've seen in the last 30 years, even better
Not
than
the
Michael
last
Vick.
30.
Even
Since
better than
Michael
Michael
Vick.
Vick.
Since
Better than
Michael Vick.
Michael Vick. Better.
Yeah. I don't know if it was better. I mean,
Josh
Michael
Allen
Vick.
almost better than Michael Vick at running the ball, and he's a
Uh,
bum.
well, Michael Vick couldn't run from dogs, so maybe you're right. I don't know. I don't know.
Look, man. All I know is Lamar Jackson, like I said, his 5 year resume is pretty much almost already eclipsing everything Michael Vick done in totality in his career. So that's alone, and this stat alone here. Tell me when Michael Vick won MVP unanimously like Big Trust.
Well, that's a political type
Uh
award that
huh.
they
Uh
hand
huh.
out to
Mhm.
young people for trying hard and doing good
Mhm.
for the community, or
Or
uh,
throwing 36 touchdowns while having a 1,200 yards rushing in a season, over 5,000 all per man. Big trust.
you say all purpose because you don't want to say that it wasn't 5,000 all purpose.
Yeah,
It
it
can't
was.
be five.
Uh
There ain't
huh.
no way.
It was
He
just
don't
about
throw for enough. He don't throw
46.
for
It was
enough yardage.
46. It was 46 all purpose.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So
saying.
almost
He's short.
5,000.
But we
Almost
can't say
5,000.
almost. We ain't doing almost.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, we're
I
not doing
lost my
almost.
third 3,000 yard
Yeah,
season because
right.
of
Yeah,
that.
you're so right. We're not doing almost.
I'm like a
So
little
that's
little
exactly where it's
75
at.
show, just a
That's
little
exactly
half
where it's
game.
at. I got you.
Little.
So
Well,
that's
we'll leave
exactly
it up
where
to.
it's at.
We're gonna have to leave it to the fans to decide who's the better quarterback. You
When did
folks
like
answer.
like I said, Big Trust
It's
unanimous
obviously Michael
MVP.
Vick, but
It's clearly Lamar Jackson.
look, I
Everybody's
clearly.
gonna say Lamar Jackson.
Well, just so you know, the results from the Geno Smith and Josh Allen versus came in, and it was awfully one sided.
For
And
Gino,
for Allen, for Allen.
Yeah, because he is trash. I agree with
Yeah.
y'all.
So we'll see. We'll see here. We'll see what these fans say. They'll decide. They'll tell us Geno Smith or Michael Vick, and we appreciate them
I
for
take
tuning
Geno
in
Smith over
for that
Vic too.
portion.
I'll take Geno Smith over Vic.
Mm,
Has Michael
mm.
Vick even got into a playoff?
And
I
that's
didn't
the
even see
bonus.
his playoff resume.
Hold on. This just the bonus. Let's put that for the bonus question. If you answer the question and answer who's better, it's obviously it's Vic over Gino, but answer that
Mm.
one for us too, please.
And also let us know if Michael Vick made it even has he even made it to the playoffs, or he's been in a championship game before. Maybe I don't know
Can
Atlanta's history. I can't
I
remember. It was
feel like
so
he had to
underwhelming.
have.
I feel like those. I feel like his stats were so terrible. I don't see how they could have got there. But then
I mean,
again, it's the NFC.
he was with Andy Reid.
I don't
Let
think
me
they
see.
made it to the offs.
They had to make the playoffs. You just gotta. Where's the? I'm not seeing it now.
I
It's
know
making
you.
me
You ain't
nervous.
seeing it.
Because I'm looking at Lamar Jackson anyway. I'm not even on the right page.
Man,
Uh,
please. Huh. Okay, well he's been to the playoffs before because he got two
yeah,
playoff wins. So that's
yeah,
not
two
saying too
playoff wins.
much,
There we go.
and that's not saying nothing at all.
I only know Vic. That's all I know too. That's the only dude that matters. Let's
You
go
don't
with it.
watch football then if you don't know who Lamar Jackson is. He's the only unanimous MVP in NFL history.
I feel like there was one more.
You
Was he
can
the
feel
only
that
one?
way, but it's not right. Feelings get people hurt.
Yeah. Michael Vick had he almost had 1,000 yards passing in the playoffs.
Yawn. Pat did that in 2 games.
He
I'm
really
sure.
has. How do we know it's Michael Vick's got more than 2 games? Like, calm down. 6 games, 6 playoff games.
And 2 wins. So he 2-4 in the playoffs.
What's
Trash.
Lamar Jackson in the playoffs?
I'm gonna have to see because Big
Yeah,
Trust
because
ain't one too many.
you over here making fun
He's
of
got one less than Vic. Like I keep saying, so much time, and he's on a
he
rookie
ain't
deal.
guaranteed. He ain't
Huh?
guaranteed. Look, he's
Yeah,
in
he
the
is, man.
no. Look at his division. He's still got to
I
deal with
see it.
Cincinnati every year. If he's got to leave, he needs to go. He needs to go to the NFC South.
Yeah, and he's gonna come to Tampa Bay, and
That's
Big
what he
Trust
needs to
gonna
do.
and he gonna run roughshod all over and make all his stats better in the NFC. Like I said, Michael Vick had to do all that in the NFC. He doing this in the AFC, better conference, better competition.
The NFC back then was good though.
Trash. Stop playing. The
Not back
NFC's
then.
always been. Yeah, what? I'm not even going there.
We
Folks, y'all know the NFC was trash in Michael Vick's Atlanta days. Trash. Trash.
no,
Can't tell me no juggernaut in the NFC from that time.
There's all sorts of them.
No, it's
Look, there
not.
was
They're
it's
trash.
in
What are
the
you talking
early
about?
2000s.
Trash. What are you talking about? You talking about the 2000 Buccaneers? Is
I mean,
that it?
they were in the Super Bowl. I mean, how
What
trash you
are
gotta
we
be?
talking
You made it
about?
to the Super Bowl. You had the Rams back then, the best show on turf,
That
the
was
greatest
before
show
that.
on
That's
turf.
back in '99. You going back? You
Oh
going way back in
man,
history?
that's
That's
right
what
in
I
that era,
said.
man.
No, it's
Look,
not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
then you had the Packers back then. Was the
Please, they wasn't
when's
no They wasn't winning Super Bowls. That's what I'm saying. You ain't got no
it was a
juggernauts.
decent
Not
team.
one. Not one. Hell, the Seattle Seahawks went to the Super Bowl with Hasselback, and they was still trash. Like, what are we talking about?
That was a pretty trash Seahawks team.
Like,
I don't know
come
what to
on,
tell you.
man.
Oh, Hasselback was a bum. Um, I mean, the NFC is what it is, man. I can't get
Trash.
upset.
I don't know
It
what to
is.
tell you.
It is.
Trash.
And same with the Eagles, and same with Lamar Jackson. Michael Vick's a better quarterback. There we go.
He's not. But
But
fans, y'all let us know because the numbers don't support his claim. Especially if we're gonna just pick the first 5 years. I'm pretty sure Lamar Jackson's numbers are way better than Michael Vick's through the first five. So what are we talking about here?
Oh, the first five. I don't think that's true. There was Michael. Well, it is because I think Michael Vick had an injury too.
The first five, Lamar's Lamar.
Yeah, I think
Like I
I'm pretty
said,
sure Vick was injured. I think he missed a bunch of games
big
in his
trust.
first five.
Big trust.
What was the first five looking like again?
Like I said, I
Yeah,
know.
yeah. He missed. It was 2 seasons. The 2001 season, he only started 2 games, and the
Mm-hmm.
2003 season, he only started 4 games. So
Mm-hmm.
he was missing some time. He had a it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't uh was this the
And remember,
MVP?
before Big Trust went out this year, he was 6-1.
Is that a uh, is that an MVP I see right there? Is
Not
that
on Michael Vick. You better wipe your eyes twice because he could never and never did. You must be looking at the 2019 season for Big Trust.
I think it was 2002.
Please.
Oh, he got some. I see what it is. He
I'm
finished
like,
sixth.
it's not MVP.
He he received some votes.
Yawn.
He did finish behind Priest Holmes, so that should tell you how serious those votes were.
Please, because I'm pretty sure that's 2002. I'm pretty sure Rich Gannon won that MVP, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
Did
that's what I'm saying. Like I'm thinking, I'm pretty sure Rich Gannon got that one. Hmm.
uh, did he
So sorry,
Lamar
Michael.
Jackson ever get comeback player of the year?
He don't need to because he ain't never fell
No,
off.
no failing off.
Because he ain't
No,
never fell off.
you never.
He's got unanimous MVP though, because
Hey,
he was the
hey, hold
best
on.
player on the planet.
Let's put some respect on Vic's name here. Hold on a second. 1 second
Please.
here. Just a smidge of it. He didn't fall off.
Eric
He was
Berry he
he was
got comeback.
incarcerated. He was
Fell off.
incarcerated.
Fell off.
He had a slight interruption
Hey
in
man,
his
he fell
ability to
off.
be employed.
If that ain't falling off, I don't know what is. You lost your job. That's the definition of falling off.
It kind of is. Pretty much. I mean, the only way it gets worse is if you plexical burrs yourself while doing it.
Exactly. Exactly. You want to talk
Yo,
about, yeah, that's the only way you can fall off hard, to shoot yourself in a state where you ain't even supposed to have a gun.
good.
Good night.
And do some time for it.
Right, do some time for
Yeah.
shooting yourself, you idiot. Oh man. That's what I'm talking about. Like I said, I ain't hating on Vic, but please.
And I'm not hating
Big
on Lamar.
trust.
I'm just letting y'all know who paved the way for all these. Because look at it now. Now it ain't just Lamar. You're seeing Hurts. You're seeing Fields. You're starting to see a lot more of this running style quarterback.
Unanimous MVP. You know what? I am lying. There is one other person who done that.
There is. I
There's
can't.
only one other person who done it, and I remember who it is.
Was it
The
A Rod?
GOAT, Tom Brady.
Oh, Brady. That
So
makes sense.
Lamar Jackson is in the same breath as Tom Brady. Michael Vick could never. And never will. The only time they
Oof.
mention Tom Vick and Michael Brady is if they be like, "Oh, there's Tom Brady and Michael Vick," if they're both just happen to be walking someplace.
I didn't know he was bringing out the Stretch Armstrong here. This is the little reach.
It ain't a
Show. Let me
reach.
try
It ain't a reach.
to.
These are facts, man. There's only two.
Hey,
There's
well,
only
I can tell
two.
we're both tall because you're reaching about as high as I am right now.
There's only
About as,
two.
you're reaching about as high as me, claiming Michael Vick's better. Look, this is this is going to be a battle though, and
I
I'm
think
excited
so.
for the ones in the future. We've got a few more up our sleeves here.
We sure do, because this was a walk in the park. You should have picked somebody better. Michael Vick against Big Trust.
Mm,
Please.
mm,
Please. You should have
mm.
picked you could have picked
No,
anybody else.
no
Trent
respect
Dilfer
for
would
the
have made a better
OGs.
Trent Dilfer would have made a better case.
Oh, blasphemy now. Blasphemy. We're not doing Dilfer. He did.
Champion.
He did make a Super Bowl.
Exactly.
He did. Oh, we're not going there, folks. I'm not allowing it. Blasphemy. Michael Vick is better than Trent Dilfer. It's not a
No.
question. That is not a
Mm-mm.
question. I'll allow the Geno Smith one just because of recency bias, but I'm not allowing Trent Dilfer over Michael
I'll
Vick.
say one more person. This is just me pulling out the back pocket. Ryan Fitzpatrick is better than Michael Vick.
Mm, 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 mm,
He's better than Michael
mm,
Vick.
mm, 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 mm.
Fitz magic.
Ah, oh no, 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 because the
uh,
problem is when Michael Vick was a backup, he was quickly promoted to the starter. There's a difference, and there's been plenty of times
well, wasn't Nick
Fitzpatrick
Foles
was just
there?
along for the ride.
Nick Foles.
Yeah,
I mean, Fitzpatrick started plenty of. He started a many a team, especially in Buffalo.
and
Uh,
Michael Vick had to wait one game after or one season after he came back, and then there was
and
no
then he
more
played in
backup
one season and
attempts.
was done. Good night.
No, he several, S- several. Even
You
gave
sure?
the Jets,
How
yeah,
many
even gave
terrible
the
years?
Jets a few games
How
and
many
Pittsburgh.
terrible games did he play? Yeah, on the bench.
No, he got a couple. He's got a couple stats in there. He's got touchdowns,
He's got a couple of
multiple
bench marks.
touchdowns, multiple
Uh
touchdowns
uh I don't
with
believe it.
Pittsburgh, the Jets, and the Eagles.
I
Like
don't
it's all
believe it.
there. He's got a winning record after he came out. Like yeah, yeah.
He's he's got career 133 touchdowns. That's it. Come on,
That's it.
man.
How many
That's
was
it.
Lamar at?
Le-
Lamar
Let
he
me
probably
go over
like
you.
60,
You said
maybe
he's what?
70, maybe 75. He about 75.
75.
I'm going
Lamar Jackson
75.
got 101 already. Stop playing.
Yeah,
No.
still less. Still less.
It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
5 years.
You don't know.
And then he
Tomorrow ain't
didn't even play
promised.
the whole 5 year. Look, if that's what you gonna keep him with, that's the
We
first
out
time
here
you said it.
crowding them before they get there. That's all we're
Oh,
doing. That's all we're doing on this show
oh,
now.
this dude.
This is
Oh,
all we're
well,
doing.
I guess it's a bold
Oh,
prediction.
he's got
I
another.
guess it's,
He's only got 2 more seasons, and
I
he's
guess
probably going
it's
to
a
play
bold
10 more.
prediction.
He's
It's a
done.
bold prediction, man. He said multiple touchdowns. This man threw 2 touchdowns in Pittsburgh and
I
three
said
in.
two
He
multiple,
said, no. When we hear multiple NFL,
multiple,
that's more than
more
10.
than one.
That's more than 10 in NFL talk.
Well, if you combine the two, it's still less than 10. So I can't say too
Right.
much there.
Oh my God.
But I was
And he only
correct in
threw
the
that 20.
multiple.
Dude, he's only threw that 21. He's had, bro, stop playing.
It's a different
Stop playing.
different league.
I
Back
bet,
then,
yeah.
back then
Yeah.
they could hit people too. They could hit the quarterback back then and the wide receivers. You
Well,
remember that?
folks,
You remember that when we had those highlights?
it looks like we're now diving into different eras and different this and different that. So
Yeah, it's
it's definitely
probably
time to adjourn this. We're gonna let y'all
we get out
decide.
we get off the
Yeah,
thin ice.
we're
You're
gonna
right.
yeah. We're gonna let y'all decide, man, because if you give Lamar Jackson as much time as Michael Vick got, if you just even base it off the numbers, if he keeps continuing what he's doing now, it's not even going to be close by year 9. So,
Right. Two in the bush is good as one in the hand, right? That's what we're going with.
oh, it's amazing. Look, folks, y'all, I need you to do this. Y'all, tell Mr. Casey get his mind right. If he ain't thinking this big trust, I don't know what else to say. We'll see the next verses, and I can't wait to see who's brought to the table, so I can go ahead and tell the world why it's better than whoever Mr. Casey gonna talk about, because
Mm.
clearly this man is delusional. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it for today. That's what we got. This versus, like I said, it's going to be heavily featured going forward. We'll have more situations, more talks like this, more people coming to bat, and we're touching everything: boxing, UFC, wrestling, basketball, football, baseball. everything, even soccer. Because I'm gonna tell you why Messi's the GOAT, and we'll talk about that. There's a lot of arguments to be had. People want to bend it like Beckham. We gonna talk about Messi. So we'll get into it when we get there. Mr. KC, anything for the folks?
Let's get excited for this Super Bowl, folks. Next week, we're going to try to get some Philly guys on here. We might be talking a little sports betting, get some nice little money in our pocket for the
Hmm.
last little chance. Last chance to get them dollars, y'all.
Last chance to
Let's
get
get
NFL
them.
money this season. You better get it while it's there, because I've been dipping my hand in, and let's just say it's been coming out really nice. So,
But we really can't wait for baseball because that's where the real
ooh,
money's made.
I'm trying to tell you, it
Ooh, for
is.
them dollars, need to get
Hmm.
paid.
You're right. I'm trying to tell you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to reconvene at a later time. And once again, we always thank you guys for being here. We're so blessed to do this. We thank you for all your comments, all your likes, every subscription that we got here. Like I said, we wouldn't do this if it wasn't for y'all. So thank you. Just humbly, thank you. He's Mr. KC from the 813. I'm that dude with the beard. We'll see you next time, especially on the next verses.
For sure.